Hi. So this week's Boys and Girls video is going to be addressing the same topic as last time. Just this time, we've discussed a little bit more in the classroom about race and racism, and we've introduced internalized depression. So I'm going to call this Race and Racism Revisited. So let's get right into it. The thing I noticed with the kids, it was a little bit more divided this time than last time I went. There were more students, so there was more division, and it didn't seem like it was intentional. It just seemed like these are the kids that they hung out with. These were the kids that their parents, had the same socioeconomical standards, opportunities. So these students connected, I would say, with that. This time, I actually went and asked. I found 3 separate students during their power hour, and I didn't take any notes because I didn't want them to feel, I took mental notes. I didn't want them to feel as if I was interrogating them. But I found one Hispanic student. I believe he was Hispanic. The staff there told me he was Hispanic. One white student and one African American student. And I asked them very general questions about their race and if they've ever felt like they've wanted to change the color of their skin to go along with what we were learning in Dark Girls and some of the articles we had read in the class. The white student was very nonchalant about it. They didn't want to change their color. They didn't see a reason to. They just didn't feel like it was a necessary thing. They'd never been harassed about it. The Hispanic student also felt just kind of apathetic. They were like, yeah, it's my skin color. They don't want to change it. They didn't really provide any reasoning for changing it, or not changing it, I should say. They just didn't feel like it. And when I asked the African American student about their skin tone, I got an unusual reaction. They didn't want to change it, but they seemed hesitant about it. Like I asked them if they'd ever thought about changing it, and she said she had in around the 3rd or 4th grade, because she thought that some of the kids treated her a little bit differently. And I asked her, were these kids, your color or a lighter color? And she said they were a lighter color. So she wanted to become a lighter color. She said she wanted to stay black, though. She didn't want to become white, basically. And I asked her if she now feels in the 5th grade, about 2 years later, if she still feels that people are treating her differently. She says she still notices it, but her parents have tried to teach her about the importance of her skin tone and to be proud of it, and not fear it and not want to change it or give it up, because it is a part of her identity and who she is. So that was the big thing that I noticed with talking to the students. That could have just been a random chance. I didn't get to talk to all the students because they were only open for about an hour that day. So it was I wish I had gotten to talk to a Pacific Islander student, or an Asian American student, or even a student from a socioeconomic class a lower socioeconomic class, I should say, to see if internalized oppression is not only singular in the fact that it's only found in colorism situations, but also found in socioeconomic situations and cultural situations as well. So that's what I noticed this week in my Boys and Girls Club meetings.